All right, for October 13th, we have The Ghost of Frankenstein from 1942. And if you look at that poster there, there's a lot of leg in that poster. That's not in the movie. So if you notice on the poster at the bottom, it says Lon Chaney. He is the monster, isn't he? Yeah. And he just barely played Wolfman in the last one. Okay, so Lon Chaney as the monster, he did really good. He looked similar. He acted similar. Uh, he didn't do his little side roar though, where he's like, "Rah, rah." He didn't do that. But other than that, I thought he did pretty good. So right from the opening credits of this movie, there was just like this really cool, like bombastic, foreboding music, and I was like, "All right, this is cool music." And then I was like, "Wait, how can this story happen?" I was just like, "What is going on here?" Based on how the last one ended, it's just like I think I might be able to see why Boris Karloff didn't want to be in this one. So I was pretty excited to see Bela Lugosi back as Igor, and once again you've got the town of Frankenstein, uh, pretty much getting ready to riot. This is going to become a theme here, but I was really excited to see Bela Lugosi again. And when they introduce him, he is down by the dried sulfur pit playing his weird little instrument where the monster went in. And if you recall, burst into flames. So, anyway, I was still happy to see Bela Lugosi. He does a really good job in that hammy character. All right, this is a surprise shot that I was not expecting. Oh, that's my favorite shot, actually, right there. That tracking shot with the mobbing. But, surprise, I think I cut myself off. I meant to say they're mobbing again. Also, these overhead shots are fun. So the castle of Frankenstein gets blown up again because it got blown up in The Bride of Frankenstein, and then it didn't really get blown up in the Son of Frankenstein. Anyway, this thing gets blown up a lot, and it's getting blown up again. And the explosions in here are actually pretty good. Yeah, check out this explosion right here. It's pretty good. Might not show up as well. Anyway, something ridiculous is about to happen to get the plot moving forward. So the dried up sulfur pit that the burned up monster was in just got blown loose by an explosion. Good writing. And Igor, who got hung before the last movie, also look at that shadow shot's cool. He got hung before the last movie and riddled with bullets in the last movie, is here and fine. And you can see the hand sticking out there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I guess they do establish that he can't die, but that time seemed pretty complete. All right, with this awesome plot hand in the background, I'll just talk a little bit about the Blu-ray. So this is the Blu-ray from the 30 movie set. It looks okay. There's definitely some print damage that I could see, some scratches throughout the film. There's also the grain is pretty globby sometimes, and then but for the most part, the picture was pretty attractive. But the sound is a DTS 2.0 HD, DTS HD Master Audio 2.0, and it's pretty basic. It seemed kind of tinny, almost like kind of hollow. Also, another side note, let's look at how long this thing is. Look at this. This thing is an hour and 7 minutes. So it is pretty ridiculous premise, but at the same time, it's like, okay, we're going to have fun for a little over an hour. Oh, another thing I actually also like about the disc and the movie in general is the music. The music is actually really good. A lot of the individual people had their own individual like theme music. The monster, and then like the girl who stands around and does nothing. But yeah, they had their individual theme music, so the music was really good, and it came through decent. Other than the sound being kind of hollow. Look at him, there he is, stuck in the dried sulfur. So Igor and his friend, the monster, are escaping, and the monster decides to try and get struck by lightning. Like, no kidding. Here you go. We'll watch him get struck by lightning frame by frame. I like doing stuff frame by frame sometimes. See how it goes. Oh, there he is, right in the neck. All right, now he's supercharged. All right, so as far as the plot goes, you've got this old guy who is a little bit jealous of Frankenstein. Uh, Another son of Frankenstein right here, he's a little bit jealous of that guy because he worked with his dad. And he definitely has some motivations of like something's owed to him, so he shows a little bit of that at the beginning, and so you can kind of believe it a little bit more when he does what he does later. And then you have this Frankenstein's daughter, who, no kidding, just stands around and walks around the whole time. They might have put a cell phone in her hand and had her just scrolling up the whole time because she seriously didn't really do much. Actually, there's a part where she gets an exposition dump and a really cool dress, and we'll show that part. Also, this is their science lab, and I gotta show you this. So look at all the cool science equipment. The very best part about this whole thing is this poster right here. Look at this thing. Boop. I mean, how can you do your science without your poster? Actually, do you know what? Upon getting closer to it from the couch, I can see that it's a circulatory system on there. To me, it just looks like a stick figure, but still, it's kind of silly. Okay, so once again, the monster's out on the loose, and he seems to make a bond or friendship with this little girl that kind of lasts the whole thing and has a few different plot points. Also, I mentioned that Frankenstein has a daughter, and then that daughter's dating like the town inspector or whatever, and then Igor, of course, wants power and to be mischievous, and then that other doctor wants essentially power and recognition as well. And then Frankenstein, he's kind of the one that everything happens to. So Igor goes to him and is like, "Hey, you gotta fix this monster." And then of course the old passion awakens in him. I was gonna say the title might as well be called Another Son of Frankenstein at this point. All right, so the monster, it has the little girl, and he's up on the roof, and of course everyone thinks he's gonna kill the girl, and so a mob starts. And just like always, the mob's own stupid actions gets some of themselves killed. Okay, and when Frankenstein Junior, whatever, sees the monster for the first time, there's pretty cool music. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. You hear that? It's just like this slow building music as he gets closer and closer to him.
He seems to recognize you, Dr. Frankenstein.
Anyway, I can't really show all of it, but I really like the music as he walks towards him and meets him for the first time. So they're in a courtroom because they're like, this guy's insane, and we need to deal with him right now. And Frankenstein, this one is a doctor of like mental diseases. And then, of course, they break right out of this courtroom, and I'm like, is there no guns in this whole courtroom? Okay, so here's them escaping, and then check out daughter Frankenstein's dress. I call this her exposition dress. I think this is one of the coolest costumes out of all of these movies. Look at this thing. Look at that. Look at that. And of course she turns all sides so you can see the whole dress. But look at that thing. I better pause it here. So anyway, this is an exposition dump scene where she basically gets a flashback of everything that's happened because they've been keeping it from her. So she reads through the notes and it does some cool flashbacks, which I really liked. But look at this dress. This is really, really cool. This is probably one of the coolest dresses in all the movies so far. I was like, really, really liked it when I saw it. Sorry, that's not very good descriptor words, but I just think it looks really cool and is really unique, and it was kind of striking because it was so unique, so spiky and like gothic and fancy at the same time. And then he gasses his own daughter to get the monster because, like you do. One thing this movie did really well is it worked with a lot of really fun shadows. So look at this shadow as the monster's trying to get. In black and white, these shadows end up coming across really, really starkly, and I think they make such a mood in these movies when they use these big bold shadows. It's like almost comic booky. Okay, and they decide that he needs to dissect it to basically take it apart piece by piece as his father built it piece by piece, which actually leads to my favorite quote of the whole movie, which is, "How can you call the removal of a thing that is not human murder?" And it's like, well, I mean, because it still could be murder, but anyway, I like that quote. It's my fave. Okay, and then no joke, a ghost shows up. Like, no kidding, this actually happens. Look at this. Yep, right there. Look a little better. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I gotta take this thing apart, but then the ghost is like, no, you gotta do stuff. I worked on this my whole life. You gotta work on it. That's his dad, apparently. So it's kind of like when like Bruce Wayne talks to the paintings of his parents. It seems kind of the same thing. He's seeing his dad in the scientific instrument. So yeah, Ghost of Frankenstein. There it is. That's the title. Okay, and if you're getting ready to do science, you got to get your arcs going. Your electric arcing. Look at this. It's going nuts. It's actually really loud on this part. I pushed the home button instead of the play button, so we get to start this over. Alright, so now it's time to switch brains. And they're supposed to switch brains with a murdered scientist, but instead it's going to be, spoiler alert, with Igor. But the point of this scene is that they are turning the science up. They're cranking knobs. There's things spinning. Look at that. They're glowing. Like, it is very sciencey in here right now. And you can tell because of how loud and spinny and glowy it is. Here's some more awesome, amazing shadow play as the monster comes in to grab this little girl for plot reasons. But yeah, just those deep shadows on the wall. There's such awesome contrast in black and white. Okay, I actually think I already had a favorite shot at this point in the movie. But if not, no, I did, but I think this is also my favorite shot. Right there. Just think it looks so good. Also, you're going to have this girl. She's just going to stand around, walk around. I think she might get the door sometimes, but doesn't do much. It's a little sad for the actress. She really does not do a lot in this movie. All right, this part actually had a really freaking awesome musical cue when he goes to turn the light on when they're about to do the brain transplant. So check it. Let's see. Sound on? Yeah, check this out. Yeah, cool. Anyway, I can't let it keep playing or else they'll get me. But yeah, I love when music syncs up with picture like that. Okay, there's a hard-working scientific montage coming right up. I gotta just show this to you. First he snuffs us out, and then here we go. Just look, oh my gosh, look at all this instruments and time and science happening. And of course, you can't be doing science without inciting a mob. Alright, I wanted to show the monster's awesome half grin as he's gassing all these mobbers. So look at his face, look at his little mouth there. I'm just doing it frame by frame, look at this. Yeah, look at this little monster half grin. Love that. Spoiler alert again. So once again, we have house going up in flames. We've got the monster pretty much about to get it. And then we've got these two who have no chemistry. Maybe they have about as much chemistry as a board and a nail, but their chemistry is you're a guy and I'm a girl and we're about the same age and we're available. Like, no kidding, that's the chemistry of these two. So yeah, you've got Daddy Frankenstein, his gone bad scientific friend. You got Igor and the monster all in there in the burning house again. And if you look at this box set, so it's a 30 movie box set, but in the Frankenstein one, it's like all 8 of the Frankenstein movies. And it's like, wait. So I guess the tradition is he's just going to die at the end of every single one. So uh, I'm excited to see how they bring him back. I'm excited to see uh, where the story goes from here. Um, it's still fun to watch, even if I just don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. But yeah, they just walk up over the hill, and there's the sunrise. Um, so this one's not very good. This is not very good. This movie. Um, I would watch it if you're trying to be a completionist with the Frankenstein movies. I would watch it. Otherwise, it's very hollow. Very hollow. Like I said, these guys have no chemistry. The story's silly. Uh, I really look forward to seeing the other ones because I think they're going to be more collaborations, like Frankenstein meets Wolfman and stuff like that. But I really see why Boris Karloff did not come back for this. So I don't like this one. I put it very close to the bottom, if not the bottom out of all of them so far. Maybe right there next to Werewolf of London as far as the quality goes. Maybe even lower. This might be the lowest one so far. The Blu-ray is decent quality. There's some print damage. The sound's a little hollow. Um, yeah, kind of a rough one. It's only an hour long though. Still kind of a fun Halloween cheese tasting, but not a good one though, like the werewolf ones, or like Wolfman just barely. Now the next one. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes, so I keep turning around. The next one is the Invisible Agent, and that's going to come out October 14th. So this one right now, Ghost of Frankenstein from 1942. It's coming out October 13th, and then Invisible Agent is coming out October 14th. So I'll be reviewing that one next here. So thank you so much for watching and sticking with. This is a bit of a rough one, but I wanted to just show some things that I got out of it that I enjoyed. Let me know if you're watching these, what you think, if you've seen any of these movies. It's been fun to chat with some of you so far. So thank you, and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. Okay, thanks. Bye.